Guys, we are halfway through the season if you can believe it. And two things are certain. One, this might end up being one of the greatest seasons we have ever seen. And two, everything might come down to the wire. What's going on, guys? Six Report here, back to another video, and today we are going through Week 10. Hard to believe, we're already here. But I'm not wasting any more time. Let's get into these games. Okay, and our Thursday night game is going to be between Carolina and Chicago. For Chicago, we have no idea how much longer until Justin Fields is back on the field. My guess would be he's still not going to be ready to play because it's going to be a short week. But you know what? I've seen stranger things happen. But meanwhile, for these two teams, this is more of a battle for the number one overall pick than anything else. But it doesn't really matter because Chicago has Carolina's first-round pick. So either way, Chicago wins no matter what. Yeah. Give me the Bears on this one, but really this wouldn't shock me. And I'm just going to move on to the second journey game, which is the Colts and the Patriots. And there's not too much more I can say on the Patriots. I mean, this has been the worst season since Belichick has taken over as head coach of the New England Patriots. I'm going to go with the Colts on this one. Cleveland taking on Baltimore. For Cleveland, their defense has just been terrific all season. It's the reason why they are in the playoffs if they would start today. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, they have won 4 straight games. They're starting to hit their stride, playing some of their best football, but they have to keep it up. This is a chance for them to get some separation from the teams in the AFC North, which has looked like the best division in the NFL this year. And for Cleveland, this is a chance to catch up and show that this team is for real. I'm going to go with them over the Ravens. Houston taking on Cincinnati. For Houston, what a game last week. That was probably the best game of the week against the Buccaneers. And CJ Stroud, oh my goodness, that was one of the best games ever by a rookie quarterback. And that final drive, that was absolutely amazing. There is a reason I named him as a potential Rookie of the Year candidate. And I am so happy that I have been right on that since week 1. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, after starting the year slow, they have rallied 4 straight wins. Make it 5, give me the Bengals. San Francisco taking on Jacksonville. San Francisco, their bye came at the right time because they had lost 3 straight. Offense was struggling. Players were getting hurt. Hopefully they get some of those injured players back. And hopefully they can come back together. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, they were also just on a bye. They're starting to hit their stride. They are 6-2 right now, winning the AFC South. I'm going with them over the 49ers. New Orleans taking on Minnesota. Okay, out of all the crazy storylines that have happened this year, the Joshua Dobbs-led victory last week against the Falcons has to be up there as one of the craziest. This is somebody that had gotten to Minnesota earlier in the week, didn't know the whole playbook, didn't even know some of his teammates' names, and he leads them to a victory over the Falcons after a concussion to Jaren Hall. You can't make this stuff up! Meanwhile, for the Saints, been a little up and down, but they're in a position for a wildcard spot if things go their way, and I'm going to go with them over the Vikings. Green Bay taking on Pittsburgh. For Pittsburgh, how are they 5-3? That just defies all logic at this point. They have been outgained in every single game this year. Their offense has been so inconsistent, and yet they are 5-3 with the final wildcard spot if the playoffs started today. That is unbelievable. Mike Tomlin is a really good head coach, and the defense is one of the best in the league. For the Packers, they picked up a win last week, stopped their losing streak. I just don't see it happening 2 weeks in a row. Give me Pittsburgh. Tennessee taking on Tampa Bay. Tennessee, Will Levis is the starter moving forward. He earned that starting job. Has been doing good so far. Let's see if he can keep it up. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, not much more you can say other than that was a rough week for the defense, giving up that many yards and the game-winning drive against the Texans. I think they're going to rebound. I'm going to go with them over the Titans. Atlanta taking on Arizona. Same thing. Atlanta taking on Arizona. For Atlanta, they gave up a game-winning drive against the Vikings. This is a chance for them to get right. This is a get-right game for them because the Cardinals have not been good this year. Not at all. Kyler Murray is coming back, but I don't know how much he's really going to help them. when he's missed half of the season with a torn ACL. He's got to shake the rust off. I just don't see that helping this team out that much. They just don't have a lock right now. Give me the Falcons. Detroit taking on the Chargers for the Chargers. Impressive Monday night win against the Jets. Chargers defense, they shut down that Jets offense, and then their offense was able to get some points against the Jets defense. This has been really good so far this year, and that punt return for a touchdown, absolutely amazing. That was a complete game for the Chargers. Lions, meanwhile, they were on a bye. They have the division lead right now. They are 6-2, sitting comfortably. I say they get the win over the Chargers. Dallas took on the Eagles last week, and now they get another divisional opponent with the Giants coming to Arlington. And for the Cowboys, this is a get-right game for them. That last drive where it looked like they were going to go in, take the lead, but they just couldn't get out of their own way. It was rough for them. But again, this is a get-right game for them. The Giants, it's been such a rough season for them. In between the injuries, inconsistencies, players not stepping up, it's just been rough for them. And now Daniel Jones is out for the season with a torn ACL. Give me the Cowboys. Washington taking on Seattle. For Seattle, rough game last week. Very rough. I don't even want to mention it anymore. That's how rough it was. Meanwhile, for the Commanders, they were able to pick up a win against New England on the road. They are doing better than I think people would have thought, but how long can they keep it up? I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Jets taking on the Raiders. For the Raiders, they got a shot in the arm last week. After the firing of Josh McDaniels and the promotion of Antonio Pierce to the interim head coach, I don't know what happened against the Giants, but that was their best game of the season. It was a complete game for them. Shut down the offense, and their offense did well. Aiden O'Connell taking over as a starting quarterback. Now they get the other New York team, the Jets, who, as I mentioned before, they've had a really good defense for most of the season, but their offense has been inconsistent. Zach Wilson has had equal moments of brilliance and disaster. But I'm going to go with the Jets over the Raiders on this one. I see the Jets defense makes some plays. Probably gets a touchdown or two. I don't know. And their Monday night game is going to be Denver taking on Buffalo. Denver is one coming off a bye, so their team should be well rested. And before the bye, they were coming off their best game of the season when they beat the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs for the first time in like 16 tries, something like that. And then the Bills, rough loss last week against the Bengals. They just couldn't complete the comeback. This is a chance for them to get right. And really, the Bills need to start picking it up because if the playoffs started today, they'd be out of the playoff race. They have got to improve right now. I say they get the win against the Broncos, but this is definitely the team to keep the eye on if they want to get a deep playoff run. They've got to pick it up. Alright guys, those were my picks for Week 10. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.